Before you start Lesson 14, make sure you complete Test B in the Test Masters on equations. These equations, those will really help you to do better on these word problems and to figure out how to set up an equation for these word problems. In Lesson 14, the type of word problem we'll be dealing with is a part-whole word problem. And just think of fractions, and that will help you understand these problems. For example, let's just draw a fraction circle and split it into quarters. Let's shade in one of those quarters. So we would say that 1/4 of that circle is shaded. Now the whole circle is 4/4, right? 1/4 is shaded. 3/4 is not shaded. Those are the kind of word problems you'll be looking at. They might say that 1/4 of this circle was shaded. So how much is not shaded? That's the question that you'll be answering. And you just have to think about, oh, well, the whole would be 4/4 or 1. If 1/4 is shaded, then 3/4 would have to be the not shaded part. Let's go ahead and do a practice problem. This one says the laptop's battery was 73% charged. What percent remained to be charged? Well, just think about that part-whole idea, and 100% would be fully charged, right? If it's 73% charged, we have a little bit left, and we'll just say R for remain. 73% plus that remained would equal 100%. And we have an equation there that will help us answer the question. What percent remained to be charged? Subtraction undoes addition, and we'll just do minus 73 there. Need to do a little bit of canceling, or borrowing, not canceling, but borrowing. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. 27% remains. That's our answer. Now in a problem like that, you might be able to do that one in your head. Just do 100 minus 73 in your head. But it's always good to show your work as well, just to make sure that you did the problem right. In case you have a mistake in your answer, you can tell where your mistake is if you show your work. So a key phrase in that problem was percent remained. What percent remained? In other words, what part remained until we got to the whole? We had one part, 73%. We needed to figure out another part to get the whole 100% charge. Let's try one more problem. Read it through first. 3/8 of the salmon were sockeyes. What fraction were not sockeyes? Okay, well, we can recognize that's a part-whole problem. A key word there is fraction. What fraction? So now let's answer the question. What fraction were not sockeyes? Well, we know 3/8 were. And then the other part would have to be the ones that were not. So we'll just say n for not equals 1, or 8 over 8. Just think of it as 8/8. That's the best way to solve a problem like that. Instead of writing 1 down, just to prevent any confusion, put 8 over 8. Because that's the same thing as 1, right? The numerator and denominator are the same number. That equals 1. We can just do this problem in our head. 3 over 8 plus 5 over 8 would equal 8 over 8, right? So the number that were not sockeye salmon, 5/8 were not sockeyes. Look for keywords like fraction and percent in these problems to help you solve them. Let's do one more problem. On this one, we have been given an equation, and we want to write a story problem about part-whole, or parts of a whole that fits that equation. So we have 33%, that's one part, plus another part, and then the whole, when we're thinking about percentage, that always adds up to 100%. So think of a story problem that would fit that equation. Go ahead and pause the CD and write it down, turn it back on, and check your work. Here's one possible story problem out of many that you could have for that equation. 33% of the chickens were in the cage. What percent of the chickens were not in the cage? We're talking about a whole quantity. We can think of that in terms of 100%. We're thinking about percentage. So if we have 32% were not, then there's this unknown amount C that is out of the cage that totals up to 100%. So that story problem would work for that equation. Okay, well that's all for lesson 14.